First tonight on News 3, a new effort in Madison to centralize care for some of the city's oldest residents. And a problem that doesn't seem to be going away. Blue-green algae continues to close several beaches across Dane County. And later, a little boy going the extra mile to help save some ducklings.
This is News 3 at 10.
Thanks for joining us. Eric has the night off. 4 nonprofits set to help senior citizens will become one. New at 10, we look at how the leadership in the new group says this will help even more people. Amy Reed sat down with one of the 4 directors and joins us now. Amy?
This is set to happen at the beginning of next year, and the director I spoke with today and the people using the services are excited.
They're just adorable. They come, look like little ants all over the place.
Janet George is fierce, and she likes to do things herself, but she can't always.
That was what was so frustrating at first, was I couldn't do anything,
Now she gets help from the East Madison Monona Coalition on Aging. Once a week, someone comes to help her with anything.
Oh, she vacuums. She has cleaned out cupboards.
Anything she needs.
It was all done for me. It was wonderful, because I've been sitting here and, not being able to do it, and then, oh, great,
With a new merger of the East Madison Monona Coalition with 3 others very similar, Janet's story might be more common.
We've been in conversations about how we can work more collaboratively, and at the end of 2016 we decided that not only do we want to work more collaboratively, but we wanted to merge or consolidate and become one agency.
Sonia Lundquist heads up East Madison Monona, but soon she'll be part of the greater agency. She's hoping not only will services continue for people like Janet, but they'll expand for many more.
If we can provide more services with the same amount of money and we can serve more seniors, that's a win for everybody in the community.
That sounds good to Janet because the help she gets means the world.
It does. It means everything. It's amazing.
The new agency wants to keep all staff on board, but they said with a bigger agency, what they really need more of is volunteers.
What a great idea. Amy Reed reporting tonight. Amy, thank you. Blue-green algae continues to plague Madison lakes. A UW researcher we spoke to today says visually these are some of the worst blooms in decades, and it's hard to quantify if the magnitude of the blooms is actually worse. He says the algae blooms likely won't be going away anytime soon without working toward a fix. More than a dozen area beaches are currently closed as a result.
The problem isn't going to go away until we can find ways to help agriculture, and particularly to figure out what to do with the large amounts of manure that's being produced by dairy farms.
Dane County currently has a Suck the Muck project attempting to remove nearly 900,000 pounds of phosphorus from streams that feed into Madison's lakes. The algae is also an issue right now in northeastern Wisconsin. This is video from Lake Winnebago. Experts say it can cause a variety of symptoms if touched or ingested by a person or pet, including headaches, vomiting, and rash. While rare, it can also cause life-threatening symptoms like liver failure. Let's see if the weather will cooperate to get rid of some of this algae. Here's Chief Meteorologist Gary Canalti with our first alert forecast. Hi, Gary.
Hi, Charlotte. Temperatures were warm today. They'll be even warmer for tomorrow, and the humidity levels will also be higher. And on the 4th of July, we have an alert day in the forecast for a high of 90 with heat index temperatures between about 93 and 98 degrees. Also be a chance for a couple of scattered thunderstorms, especially Wednesday afternoon and Wednesday night. Right now, they're not expected to be severe, but they could interfere with outdoor activities. The weather track right now shows some showers, a couple of thunderstorms from western Minnesota up into the northern parts of that state. That's the nearest precipitation of any consequence. High temperatures today ranged from the middle 70s in Manitowoc, lower 80s in Milwaukee, to temperatures that were close to 90 out near the Mississippi River. La Crosse topped out at 88. Black River Falls is at 87. Current temperatures are generally in the lower 70s. A few places dropping into the upper 60s near Lake Michigan, also up in Black River Falls. But dew point temperatures are slowly creeping upwards. They were in the lower 60s earlier today. Now they're in the mid to upper 60s, and that trend will continue into tomorrow. Look for temperatures to start out in the middle to upper 60s. High temperatures tomorrow will be up close to 90 degrees. You factor in the humidity, and we'll be looking at heat index values in the lower to middle 90s. That's your first alert forecast.
Thank you, Gary. With the hot and humid weather this week, Animal Services is expecting many calls from people reporting dogs being left in hot cars. This past weekend, Animal Services got called to rescue a dog in a hot car an average of 10 times each day. When it's 80 degrees outside, it takes just a few minutes for the inside of a car to reach over 100 degrees. Well, the heat also being blamed tonight for a pavement buckle in Columbia County. The two right lanes of I-3990 at mile marker 121 near Arlington closed for about an hour and a half while crews made repairs. All lanes reopened about an hour ago. New tonight at 10, no one was injured following a house explosion in western Wisconsin today. When the Viroqua Fire Department arrived this morning to the unoccupied building, they found blown out windows and smoke coming from a second-story window. The crews did not, however, find an active fire. No one was found on the scene, and they're trying to find out what caused it. Federal prosecutors have charged a Milwaukee man with attempting to firebomb a police station during riots 2 summers ago. Police clashed with protesters in Milwaukee's Sherman Park neighborhood for 2 straight nights in August of 2016 after Officer Dominic Hagan Brown killed Seville Smith during a chase. According to court documents filed today, 31-year-old Van Mays, who was a team mentor at Sherman Park, planned to bomb the Sherman Park police station with Molotov cocktails. Informants say they saw him build those cocktails and go to the station that night. A massive drug bust by the Dane County narcotics team. Police say 40-year-old Corey Alexander from Sun Prairie and 39-year-old Tori Latham from the town of Madison had nearly $60,000 worth of heroin at their homes. They say they also seized 8 guns and more than $3,000 in cash. The two are facing a slew of charges, including maintaining a drug house. Verona police are investigating a string of stolen cars over the weekend. In 24 hours, police received 3 separate reports of stolen automobiles from Saturday night through Sunday night. One on Ridgecrest Lane, one on Meadowside Drive, and another on Jenna Drive. Police say all 3 vehicles were unlocked and had the keys inside. Any Wisconsin resident who has not applied for their $100 per child tax credit yet has until midnight tonight to do so. Parents can file claims to the State Department of Revenue's website. That's childtaxrebate.wi.gov. The filing period began May 15th. Parents must have a child who was under 18 as of December 31st of 2017. So far, more than 500,000 families have applied for this rebate.
Even with the largest investment in schools ever in state history, actual dollar investment, the largest ever, even with lower property and income taxes for everyone, for senior citizens, small business owners, working families and family farmers, we still had a larger surplus than expected. And so this is money we're sending back to working families.
Democrats have accused Walker of setting up the rebate and a 5-day sales tax holiday in August as nothing more than election year bribes. One of 6 Republicans running to replace House Speaker Paul Ryan is dropping out of the race. Ryan is not seeking re-election. Neshota psychologist Brad Boivin announced today that he is ending his campaign. Brian Stile, Jeremy Ryan, Paul Nehlen, Kevin Steen, and Nick Pulse will now face each other in the Republican primary on August 14th. Randy Bryce and Kathy Myers will compete in the Democratic primary. The general election is November 6th. President Trump has started interviewing top candidates for the Supreme Court. The White House hopes to replace retiring Justice Anthony Kennedy before the midterm elections, while Republicans still have a slim majority in the Senate. The president says he will meet with 2 or 3 more candidates and make a decision over the next few days. He hopes to have a justice confirmed for the start of the next session in October. There's a new beverage provider for Badgers home games this year at Camp Randall. The UW's 5-year deal with Pepsi is officially in place as of yesterday. The Board of Regents approved the deal back in October. Previously, RC Cola and Dr. Pepper products were the only ones available at sporting events. The university also signed a 6-year contract with Gatorade to get those products on the sidelines. Next tonight at 10, authorities say an 8-year-old Stoughton boy is responsible for saving the lives of some ducklings he found in downtown Madison. Photojournalist Corey Ferris talked to the boy today.
Drake runs in and says, "There are ducklings. There are ducklings on the roof." I felt bad for them. They were all alone.
We saw the mama around, but they were clearly in a place that they couldn't get out, and if they did, they were 4 stories up, so if they got out, they wouldn't have made it.
We're following people that we just called to rescue some, well, baby ducklings with their mother, and there's their mother.
There was an officer talking to the building's owner and the occupants that lived on the top story, and they said, come on down, we're going to release them and have your son come down and help. We all kind of had this little parade that went down, and the mama duck would kind of follow us.
Come down here, bud. Yep. Drop them in.
I felt like happy that they're like sitting back, like back to the wild. I don't really know how they got up there, but they won't be going back up there.
Now that is doing something good. Still to come tonight, out with the old, Best Buy no longer selling CDs. And if you're thinking about getting a secondhand car seat for your child, we'll tell you why experts say you may want to think twice. AAA is predicting this 4th of July holiday will set a new traffic record with nearly 47 million people expected to travel. To help with the congestion, all major road construction projects across Wisconsin will be put on hold. Most projects will be halted starting at noon tomorrow and resume Thursday. Still, the State Department of Transportation is reminding motorists to expect delays. Americans are working less and sleeping more. A recent Labor Department report reveals the average American is getting 8 hours and 48 minutes per night of shut-eye. That's including naps. It comes as the workforce ages, and in general, Americans are getting more R&R. You won't see CDs on Best Buy shelves anymore. According to Billboard, the electronics retailer ended CD sales yesterday. Industry data shows CD sales slumped 18.5% last year. But for the nostalgic music fans, Best Buy plans to continue to sell vinyl for the next 2 years. Well, kids grow fast, so many of us buy used baby gear and kids' clothing at garage sales, consignment stores, even Facebook. But safety experts at Consumer Reports say there's one thing you should think twice about buying used: car seats. Here's Leah Lynchide.
Like most parents at this car seat safety check, Tracy Cohen wants confirmation her son's car seat is secure.
Coming to the car seat check just makes me feel that much more safe that it's in correctly.
Tracy bought her son's seat new, but many parents receive hand-me-downs or buy a used car seat. Safety experts at Consumer Reports caution against buying one second-hand if you don't know the seat's full history.
Even if a car seat looks fine, it may have internal damage that you can't see. We test hundreds of car seats, and after those crash tests, there is sometimes damage that's not evident.
Even a seat used by an older sibling that was never in an accident might not be okay. Car seats actually have an expiration date, roughly 6 to 10 years from the date it was manufactured, which is printed on every seat.
Sometimes they're on the side, sometimes they're on the side up here. Many seats have them on the bottom, but somewhere there will be a sticker that gives you at the very least the date of manufacture.
Car seats have an expiration date to assure that the components haven't degraded over time and that the seat meets the latest in safety standards.
And safety doesn't have to cost a bundle. The Costco Sonera Next is a Consumer Reports Best Buy for around $45, which gives moms like Tracy Cohen one less thing to worry about.
It makes me feel much better as a first-time mom knowing that I've done everything I could to make sure he's just as safe in the car as I am.
For WISC News 3, I'm Leah Lynchide.
I know.
If a car seat is expired or has already been in a moderate to severe crash, it is important to literally destroy it so no one pulls it off the curb when you toss it out. Consumer Reports suggest removing all covers, cutting the straps, and clearly marking the plastic shell "Do not use." Chief Meteorologist Gary Canalti joins us now with a look at your forecast.
So in other words, the car seat that I had for my son who's going to college in the fall.
I think you're done with that.
Probably,
yeah.
Okay, we
can
toss that out. Yeah. Yeah. Well, you know, tomorrow's going to be a hot day. I wish we could just toss this forecast out the window, but the heat and humidity continue to build right back in here. Take a look at the high temperatures today, generally in the mid to upper 80s across the state. I think that 65-degree reading in Marshfield was an error from the National Weather Service, but this is the forecast high temperatures for tomorrow. Upper 80s to around 90 degrees for much of southern Wisconsin away from Lake Michigan. A little bit of a lake breeze might keep Milwaukee a little bit cooler there. But on the 4th of July, just as hot, if not a degree or two higher. Looking for a high of 90 in Madison, 91 degrees in La Crosse. Now, as we take a look at the effects of humidity, you add that into the heat. We're looking at heat index values tomorrow afternoon, somewhere in the lower to middle 90s. And then even at night, those heat index values stay in the 70s to around 80 degrees, so you don't get much of a break, even in the overnight hours if you don't have air conditioning. And then on the 4th of July, Wednesday, some of the computer models are indicating triple-digit heat index values here. That would only occur if we get dew point temperatures a little bit higher than forecast. But even so, heat index values somewhere around 95 to 100, certainly not out of the question. Then we look ahead at the 4th of July. These are the last 5 4th of Julys, and actually the weather's been pretty comfortable around here. It was cool in 2016 with a high temperature of only 75, but else the rest of the last 5 years generally have had temperatures pretty close to normal, although low temperatures have been below normal. The average low temperature is about 60 degrees. We have an alert day in the forecast, though, for the 4th of July this year because of a high expected to be around 90 degrees, the heat index from 93 to 98, maybe some afternoon thunderstorms that could interfere with some outdoor activities. Look for temperatures to start out in the lower 70s and climb to around 90 during the 4th of July. Specifically in the evening for fireworks, there will be chances for showers and thunderstorms. Not everybody will see them, but you have to plan for them, and temperatures will only drop into the upper 70s by the time most of the fireworks displays are over. Severe thunderstorm watch has just been issued for parts of northern Minnesota where some strong to severe thunderstorms are occurring. Around here, things pretty quiet. The severe weather outlook for tomorrow, more severe thunderstorms expected from North Dakota and northern Minnesota. But on the 4th of July, there could be a line of storms that develops late in the afternoon through northwestern Wisconsin down to around the Twin Cities. By the time that reaches us later on Wednesday night, hopefully after most of the fireworks displays are over, that should probably weaken the storms a little bit. Edgewater Skycam time time lapse from downtown Madison. You can see just how clear the skies were today until a few fair weather cumulus clouds pop up, and then that's pretty much about it. Otherwise, the live view from the Edgewater Sky Cam showing a pretty evening out there. Humidity not quite as bad as it was over the weekend, but as we look at the almanac for today, the high temperature topped out at 84 degrees, the low temperature comfortable at 59 degrees. Our forecast for tonight calls for a low of 63 degrees with mostly clear skies. For tomorrow, look for another sunny and very warm day with a high of 89 and the heat index as high as 97 at times. Future track shows clear skies for tonight, temperatures dropping into the lower 60s. Those winds becoming a little more southeasterly tomorrow. That brings temperatures up close to 90 tomorrow night. Low temperatures stay in the 70s, and then we could see a shower or thunderstorm chance mainly in the afternoon on the 4th of July. Later computer models now popping up a few more showers and storms. High temperatures generally around 90 degrees. 7 to 10 day forecast brings temperatures in the mid 80s on Thursday with some shower and thunderstorm chances, but at least a break in the humidity for Friday, Saturday, and Sunday before it comes back for much of next week with a couple of thunderstorm chances Tuesday and then again Thursday night.
Well, it's July.
It is.
Short-lived. Thank you.
Think cool thoughts.
Yeah, we will. The longest day of golf is a successful one in South Central Wisconsin. That story coming up in sports.
The Brewers open a week-long homestand tonight. The Minnesota Twins at Miller Park through Wednesday. Then the Atlanta Braves come to Milwaukee for a 4-game series next weekend. Against the Twins tonight, it's a 1-1 game until the Brewers give up their third Grand Slam in 3 days. This one is by the Twins' Robbie Grossman. Minnesota goes up 5-1 on Brent Suter, but it's 5-4 Twins, bottom of the ninth. Bases loaded for the Brewers. Travis Shaw hits a sacrifice fly to center, and it's now in the 10th. Twins 5, Brewers 5. Cubs off tonight. They'll host Detroit tomorrow afternoon at Wrigley Field. The Madison Mallards have already won the first half of the Southern Division of the Northwoods League season. Tonight, the Mallards won in Wisconsin Rapids 4-2. Tomorrow night, the Mallards and Rafters have their rematch at Warner Park just after 6 o'clock. It was another remarkable day in the round of 16 at the World Cup in Russia. Belgium ranked 3rd in the world, Japan 6th. The early game, Sweden and Switzerland at 9 a.m. Madison time. The afternoon game at 1 as Colombia and England. The quarterfinals begin Friday. Today at Black Hawk, Pleasant View, Lake Ripley, and Janesville Country Club, some hardy souls played golf from sunup to sundown, all for a good cause. The longest day of golf raised money for the Carbone Cancer Center at the UW. The goal is to play as many holes as possible, starting around 5 a.m. and going till about 9 o'clock tonight.
We took our first 10-minute break, but other than that, it's been maybe like a minute to go to the bathroom, but other than that, we've been pretty steady.
Well, I hope that people see that, golf is one of those sports where, we do more than just play golf, and it's not just for certain people, We can use the game of golf to create funds for, charity events on Mondays, do longest day of golf like this.
They were hoping to raise $15,000. Some of the totals are in. Janesville, they played 160 holes. The Pleasant View guys played 237 holes. And the Black Hawk group played a record 260 holes on the longest day of golf in Madison. In the NBA tonight, the rich get richer. The two-time champion Golden State Warriors have signed All-Star center DeMarcus Cousins to a one-year, $5.3 million contract. Cousins is recovering from a torn Achilles, but averaged a double-double in 48 games last season. And at the FIBA World Cup basketball qualifier in Manila, Australia and the Philippines ended up having a big brawl right in the middle of the game, and right in the middle of it was the Bucks' Thon Maker. He's in the yellow uniform, number 7, and he'll become the most active guy in the fight. Maker will eventually take a run at a couple guys, throw a few punches and a couple of kicks. He was one of 13 players ejected. FIBA will announce more discipline in the coming days. Maker has apologized for his outburst. And we'll be right back.
This is why the officials need to act up.
10-day forecast, you can see we'll be around 90 for the next couple of days, including 4th of July, some thunderstorms Thursday, then a break in the humidity for Friday, Saturday, and Sunday before we warm back up again next week.
All right, thank you, Gary.
You're welcome.
And thank you for joining us. Do something good, and we'll see you back here tomorrow.